What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's gonna be one last quick video on the current state of the meta, and I'm gonna go over every single playstyle. So ARs, SMGs, snipers, just literally everything I can think of. I'm not gonna justify stuff too much. I'm just gonna kind of tell you what's the best. We've got about looks like two and a half weeks until the new map comes out and all the Vanguard weapons are integrated. That's gonna be really interesting. We'll see how well that goes. I have no idea, given the track record of updates in the past. We'll see how well that integration happens, but obviously I'll be working really hard as soon as that happens to get you guys all the best info. But just for now, I wanted to go over all the things that are the best currently in the current state of Warzone and get you guys all that information. So let's jump into it. If you like the content, consider dropping a subscription, a like, and a comment on the video to help us out with the algorithm. Getting really close to 200,000 subscribers. That's going to be a really big day for me. So if you want to help us reach that goal, just hit that sub button. But let's jump into it and we'll talk about the meta. Our sponsor for today's video is NordVPN. So there's a lot of companies out there that want your browsing information, what you're looking at, what you're clicking on, things like that, because they can use that and sell that to companies to make an income for themselves. So basically, in order to stop that from happening, you need to fully encrypt your data. And that's exactly what NordVPN can do for you. So even if you're browsing in private mode, your ISP can still have all the things you're looking at, but as soon as you turn on NordVPN, all of your data is fully encrypted, and it'll go through an encrypted tunnel to a VPN server, and then from there you'll go to the internet, and all of that information will be completely private. So that's one of the huge benefits of using NordVPN, is that all of your information is completely safe, protected, and they don't ever log anything, so no one will ever have access to your information. Another one of the really big benefits of Nord is just that you'll have access to region-locked content or region-locked discounts. So if there's a show or a discount for a game or something available only in a certain country, all you have to do is VPN into that country and you'll instantly have access to that. So I just want to show you how easy this is. I've got NordVPN here, connect to the United Kingdom, and it'll literally just take a second. I'm already connected to a UK server, and now if I go to Netflix, you're going to see that it thinks I'm in the United Kingdom and I'll have access to UK content. So number one in the UK today, obviously it thinks I'm in the United Kingdom if it's going to say that there. So really nice features. You'll be able to access any content you want anywhere in the world. If you're interested in checking out NordVPN, be sure to go to nordvpn.com/truegamedata and use my special link to subscribe. That helps to support the channel. Right now there's a special 2-year plan where you get 1 month for free. This is a Black Friday deal, so be sure to check that out. And thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video and helping to support True Game Data. All right, so I'm going to start with assault rifles. So really there's like 5 main ARs that you'd pair with an SMG right now that are very meta. The Grau's okay. The Grau's not on this list, but these are all the Cold War guns. Cold War guns just in general have better mobility and things like that. So I think overall, generally they're better than the Modern Warfare guns at this point. M13, Grau, M4, Ram 7, all very good weapons right now too. It's just their like ADS movement speed and things like that is slowed down so much, mostly by their attachments compared to the Cold War guns, that they're good, but I would consider these 5 like the meta basically for the current state of Warzone. So I think the damage profile inside about somewhere from between like 20 to 40 meters is really important, and then 40 meters on is also really important. So both those ranges are super important for your main AR. Obviously inside 20 meters you're usually going to be using your SMG, so it's those mid-range and long-range engagements that we're looking at here. And this is the combination shot TTK chart on True Game Data. This is one of the premium features, and you can see here that up close the EM2 is going to win. This is why the EM2 is so popular right now, is because it has a really fantastic TTK up close. With just one headshot or one neck shot, that TTK gets reduced, which is why it's in first here. I get asked all the time how the EM2 has a better TTK than the Cold War AK on the combination shot location chart, when the Cold War AK has a better TTK at every single individual shot location, and it's because of that. That's the power of this combination shot location chart, is that it will automatically find those things for you, where on this chart, the Cold War AK is also getting a headshot, but that headshot does not reduce that TTK, whereas the EM2's is enough damage to reduce that TTK with just a single headshot. So that's where the power of this chart comes in, and the power of this premium feature on True Game Data is it'll just spit out immediately an accurate chart for those percentages and tell you that, oh, wow, the EM2 actually can kill really fast if you get that one neck shot or one headshot, and it's actually faster than the AK in those situations. So second is the XM4, and this is because the XM4 has that crazy good neck shot and headshot damage. So just looking at individual shot locations again, the XM4 doesn't look that good, but when you mix in a headshot or a neck shot, it's great. Second fastest up close and second fastest at range. You can see at range, the C58 is going to be the winner. C58 is actually really, really good still. It's about 80 milliseconds slower than the EM2 in that first damage range, but then past like 30, 35 meters, the C58 actually takes over and is faster than the EM2 again, and it's easier to control for a lot of people than the EM2. So that's why I made that video a little while ago saying that the C58 was definitely a meta weapon. I think all 5 of these are absolutely meta. The FARA doesn't get talked about much anymore. It still has a really good TTK at range. It's actually faster than the Cold War AK, a little bit slower than the EM2, but basically the same as the EM2. And it has basically no visual recoil. It has very, very little visual recoil, and I think that's just as important as real recoil. It has a decent amount of real recoil still that you actually have to correct for, but the visual recoil is basically zero. There's basically no bounce to the gun at all. So I used it a little bit last night and had some really good games with it. Still in a great spot. The one downside, is the really slow reload time with that 60 round mag, but these are the recommended builds up here at the top. I'm not going to go through those in this video. Like I said, I'm just going to briefly talk about each, gameplay, each type of weapon, and give you guys a meta for that. Like the Bruin's pretty good right now. The Grau's pretty good, but they just don't really make the cut compared to these guns because of a lot of different reasons. You can see on the EM2, I have the Ranger barrel. So the Ranger, the C58 and the EM2 both work really well with the Ranger barrel. That's the bullet velocity barrel. So that's something to try if you want better ADS times and better mobility. Just swap out that last barrel for the 4th barrel that gives you bullet velocity for your long range AR. I want to real quickly highlight a new premium feature that we released. Basically what this does is it shows you how many shots to the head or something it takes to change the TTK from the shot location you select. So this should help with people that don't understand things like the EM2 versus Cold War AK. So if I do the EM2 here, 250 health chest shots, and I generate the table, you're going to see in the first damage range, this chart that pops up is going to show you that with 5 chest shots and 1 headshot, you get a shot to kill reduction off of chest shot. So normally the shot to kill is 7, but if you mix 1 headshot in there, you get 6 shots to kill and that amazing TTK. And then you also see you get the same thing for neck. And then in the second damage range, 4 chest shots, 2 headshots. So you have to get 2 headshots to reduce that TTK off the chest shot TTK. And you need 4 neck shots to reduce the shots to kill. If I look at the C58 just to demonstrate this again, generate the table, this is where it shows that the C58 is really good in that second damage range, because in the second damage range only needs 1 headshot to reduce that TTK, and it'll show you the total damage that it does with this combination of shots, and gives you the shots to kill and gives you the TTK. So this is a really good tool to mix in with that combination chart, and it'll help you understand situations like this that you might not be able to wrap your head around otherwise. And it's just another really advanced tool for helping you decide which guns have the best actual TTKs in their effective use. All right, so talking about aggressive SMGs to pair with one of those ARs that we just covered, I think there's 4 really good aggro SMGs right now. We've got the Cold War MP5, the OTS9, the Modern Warfare MP5, and the Lapa. Some of you might be surprised the Lapa's on there, but the Lapa actually has fantastic TTKs. Like if you just look at chest shots, with the BR compact barrel, it's going to match the Modern Warfare MP5 as the fastest TTK right now at 250 health. So that might surprise some of you, but it is actually a very, very fast killing gun. But we're just going to focus on the combination chart because I feel like that's more of a realistic situation. And you're going to see here that the OTS9 in this pink magenta color here is the fastest to kill still. It's still the king of TTKs. That's kind of balanced out by the low damage per mag. Second place here is going to be the MP5 from Modern Warfare and the Lapa, followed by the Cold War MP5. But these are all really, really close. So basically it's about 60 milliseconds difference from the slowest to the fastest here on this chart. Again, OTS9 is still the king. It has basically the best movement tied with the Lapa. The Modern Warfare MP5 is the best option if you want to hip fire. The Cold War MP5, I like the iron sights on the Cold War MP5 more than the OTS9, and it has much more damage per mag. So that's one of the reasons I've been running it a lot more recently, and it feels really good to me. This is the build I actually use: Agency Suppressor, Ember Sighting Point, Bruiser Grip, Standing 50 round drum, and Tactical Stock. So Tactical Stock gives you really good ADS movement speed without hurting your hipfire at all. Obviously with Bruiser and Ember, you get pretty good hipfire with that as well. And also Ember extends that damage range, Agency extends the damage range. You get pretty long damage range and really good hipfire, so you can start shooting as soon as you see someone as you're starting the ADS animation, and you'll actually hit some of those shots, which is a really, really powerful thing to do with an SMG. OTS, the build's similar. Ember Sighting Point, Bruiser Grip, 40 round fast mag, Task Force, Cruise Suppressor. The only difference is they use a barrel on the OTS. You can't use a barrel on the Cold War MP5 because you'll lose those really good iron sights if you do that. You have like an open half moon iron sight without the barrel on there, but as soon as you put a barrel on there, you get the standard full circle MP5 iron sights, which are nowhere near as good. OTS is going to move faster, but have lower damage per mag. Again, Modern Warfare MP5, fantastic for hipfire builds. If you want a hipfire, I'd recommend using that. Integral suppressor, 5 milliwatt, FTAC collapsible, sleight of hand, 45 round mag. I use this build all the time. Tons of fun, fries people. Lapa has a bunch of really different barrels that are very good. But for really aggressive builds, I think the BR Compact's probably the best. The one downside is it slows down your fire rate a little bit, so it's a little less forgiving for missed shots. But you're going to get really big damage per mag because it shoots pretty slow. So let's look at damage per mag real fast. Same shot location percentages. Lapa, of course, is going to be up top, followed by the Cold War MP5, followed by the Modern Warfare MP5, and the OTS is quite a bit lower than all those. So OTS has a really good reload time, really fast reload time. But overall, the other three guns have much more damage per mag. So that's kind of where that TTK and movement speed is balanced out, as it just can't kill as many people with one magazine and can get you in trouble if you run out of ammo. But overall, these are the 4 best pushy SMGs right now for sure. So let's talk about snipers real fast. There's really only 2 sniper rifles right now that are being used. That's the Swiss and the Kar98, and that basically comes down to the flinch. The ADS times are not that big of a deal for the bigger guns. You can get pretty good ADS times on like the M82 and the ZRG. You can get decent ADS times on there, but it's the flinch that makes them unusable. I used to think that flinch didn't really matter for snipers, but once I actually started playing more snipers, it's literally by far the most important thing. Being able to hit someone while you're being shot at is just, you have to have that as a sniper or you're just dead. I do think they're both a little bit too good in terms of flinch. I think a slight nerf to their flinch and a buff to the rest of the snipers' flinch would make snipers be in a great spot right now. But right now, the flinch on these two is literally like 1/5 or even less than the other snipers, which is just crazy. It makes the other ones unusable. If you get shot once, you can't recenter and get back on your target for like a half second, which by that time, a lot of the time, you're basically dead in Warzone because TTKs are so fast. So they all just need to be balanced out a little bit. The pluses and minuses to these two guns. Kar98 has better aim assist on controller. I made a video about that. I will link that down below if I remember to, if you want to check that out. So if you're on controller, Kar98 has better aim assist. It has a much slower reload time, but it has faster ADS times than the Swiss. The Swiss obviously has that full 5-round mag reload. It's going to have better aiming stability with this build by far, but slower ADS times. They have basically the same bullet velocity. Very similar guns overall. In general, I think the Swiss is a better choice right now for most people. But definitely try it out on controller between the two and see which one feels better to use. Some people on controller still like the Swiss more because they actually want less aim assist. But definitely Kar98, if you are someone that, wants that rotational aim assist, you're going to get a lot more with Kar98. All right, so next up is sniper support weapons. So there's quite a few good sniper supports right now. There's probably some on here. There's probably some that I've missed that aren't on here that are still decent, but I'm really going to talk about these 6 because I think these are basically the 6 best right now. We've got the Cold War AK, the Modern Warfare AK with the 5.45 ammo conversion, the XM4, the Modern Warfare AUG with the 30-round 5.56 ammo conversion, the Lapa, and then the PPSH. Those are what I think are the 6 best right now. This is that combination TTK chart again. You can see in that first damage range out to about 14 meters, the Modern Warfare AUG is basically tied with the Cold War AK for fastest TTK, and then the Cold War AK has a little bit longer range. Again, these are going to be my recommended builds up here, so if you guys are curious about that, you can just pause it and zoom in here. But I really am in love with the Modern Warfare AUG right now. 30-round 5.56 with sleight of hand has a crazy fast reload, and it actually has, it's not good damage per mag, but it's okay because it shoots kind of slow with the 30-round mag. And to me, it feels more accurate than almost all of these for some reason. So even though it has a slower TTK, this green line, you can see the green line is pretty much slower than all the other guns that I've listed here, from that 14 meters all the way out to about 28 meters. It's actually slower than pretty much everything, and that's an important damage range for a sniper sport. That's probably where a lot of your engagements happen. It is so accurate for me that I hit almost all my shots and have a really good effective TTK in that range. And on top of that, anytime I'm up close, I have an actual insanely fast TTK on all parts of the body. That's one of the powerful things about the AUG 5.56 for Modern Warfare, is that it has really good damage profile across the entire body, not just like chest shots. A lot of SMGs are just really fast on like chest and head, but the 5.56 AUG kills really fast, extremities, stomach, everywhere. So that makes it really powerful in those up close fights if you're hitting something besides chest shots. But some of the other ones, the XM4 is a fantastic sniper support right now, has a great effective TTK, good mobility, just pretty much good all around in every way. The PPSH and the Lapa are both really good as well. So the PPSH is this lighter pink line up on top, slower TTK up close. That's because it has an open bolt delay. But again, it's really accurate, shoots really fast, so it's super forgiving and has great mobility, good sprint to fire times because it's an SMG. And then the orange is the Cold War AK. Cold War AK is a great sniper support, has been for a very long time. Even after all the nerfs, it's still a fantastic sniper support. Great TTKs all the way out, really long damage range, pretty easy to control, decent mobility. The problem is, as soon as you turn on include sprint to fire time, even though all of these guns have the Raider stock, all of the ARs have the Raider stock, you're going to see the SMGs just completely take over. So the Lapa here in the darker blue and the AUG in green, when you include those sprint to fire times, the SMGs are going to just take over everything pretty much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty much addicted to using these SMGs as my sniper support now. I don't use ARs anymore just because I love having that sprint to fire time so I can get on my target quickly up close, as well as the faster movement speed of the SMGs feels really nice to me. So right now, my personal favorite, Modern Warfare AUG, this build that I've listed there. Second favorite is the Lapa with the reinforced barrel. I do really well with that as well. I think they're both great options. Honestly, all 6 of these are good, but those are definitely my 2 favorite, the Lapa and the AUG. I wouldn't say the PPSH is any worse than the Lapa. It's really good in its own way. It's just a different kind of gun, and right now I'm enjoying the Lapa more. So I think the PPSH is great as well. All right, everybody, I just wanted to give you one last look at the meta before we have this new Warzone Pacific map. I'm really excited for it. I have high hopes. I hope that it brings a lot of people back to the game. I hope the anti-cheat's good. It really could revitalize the game if done correctly, and if the integration is good. The new weapons are fun. I also get asked a lot if people think the older guns are going to get 10 attachments. I don't think so. I think it's going to be just the new Vanguard guns are going to get 10 attachments. Cold War, Modern Warfare are still going to get 5. And I do think they're going to include Bloom. So I made the first video on Bloom after I discovered it in Vanguard, which is basically the bullet doesn't go exactly where you're aimed when you're ADS'd. For some of the guns are basically exactly on the reticle, but some of them aren't. I do think that will come into Vanguard as well. I think that they're going to give the guns that have that 10 attachments, so you can balance that out and you can reduce that. I don't think with 10 attachments they felt like they could just have the same stats they had before and make that work, because there just were not enough negative things about a gun that you could balance with that, in my opinion. I think that's probably what they were thinking. I felt they probably thought they needed like one more stat that was bad that you needed to fix if they were going to give you 10 attachment slots and 10 attachments. That's just my theory. I have no idea. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys the meta. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.